Well, g'day folks. On the weekend I finished a big day on the bike. 650 k's, bit over 13 hours. Now it wasn't all off-road. In fact, 2/3 of that was on the bitumen, but the 200 k's in the middle was sensational high country tracks. Stick around to the end of this video for an awesome 60-second sneak preview of the footage. I'll put out another video soon with footage and commentary from the ride, but in this video I just want to share my thoughts on how the 500 handled such a big day. So first, a bit of context. I'm in Melbourne, the tracks are up in the high country, so that meant we started the day in the dark, 12 degrees, drizzle, and on the highway for a couple of 100 k's. Then in the middle of the day in the high country, in the mountains, it hit 30 degrees, bright sunshine. We finished the day with another couple of 100 k's of bitumen, and it's probably about 17 degrees and dodging rain showers the whole way home. So for the cooler high speed bits, the screen and the heated grips were fantastic. Once we got to the dirt, I just took off my jacket, rolled it up, strapped it on the back here where there's plenty of room. Now the off-road part took us a good 6 to 7 hours, most of the time standing up, so having the larger foot pegs was awesome. No sore feet for me. So the first time I felt a bit tired and a bit sore was on the highway at the end of the day. Now when you're standing up moving around, it's all good, but when you're sitting down for 3 hours, locked in position, the temperature's dropping, the body doesn't like it. That's after a full day of riding. So that's probably when your good ergonomics are going to pay off. And I have to say on that point that this seat was never an issue. Now I have spent some time getting this seat right for me, and it is great. The one thing that did get to me this ride was the vibration in the bars. Now it's not something I usually notice, but maybe just the extra time on this ride got the better of me. It was definitely worse at certain rev ranges, and switching to thicker gloves helped. For years I've used one of these throttle rocker devices which lets you, relax your fingers and you can push on the throttle with the palm of your hand, but even that wasn't enough. So I think I'm going to do a bit of research into this one. Now, over to my gear setup. So for day rides I use the giant loop Mojave saddlebags. They are just big enough to hold all my tools, spare tubes and a few other spares. It means I don't have to carry it in my backpack. Usually got enough other stuff in there anyway, with food and water and spare gloves and first aid kit. So all of this stuff being in the panniers and down low on the bike is great. It's better down low than up high, obviously. Now I mount these panniers at the back here using my little homemade clip system. It's never failed me. Check out the video I did on the Moscow panniers for more info on that. At the front, the straps that go down to these anchor points, same as the Moscows, but one difference though is that these straps on the Moscows are easily replaceable, whereas on these giant loop panniers they are sewn on. So I've just taken to adding a little extension piece attached with a buckle, so when that eventually wears out on the little metal clip, I can just replace the extension strap rather than having to sew another strap onto the bag. And the other thing I used on this ride was my small tank bag. It's the Enduristan Sandstorm 4X. I don't normally run a tank bag on a day ride, but this time I had a few extra bits and pieces with me that I wanted fast access to. Now I really like this tank bag. It's tiny, it never gets in the way when you're standing up. But I did find its clip system is a little bit dinky. Funnily enough, I was actually looking at this the night before and thought, yeah, that's not so great. And what do you know, it broke on the day. So I kind of already thought through how I was going to solve that, and we put in a workaround pretty quick on that one. Now, just quickly on a couple of other things. The center intercoms, we tried using the standard Bluetooth intercom, which uses way less battery than the mesh system, like half as much. Now at lunch, after 6 hours of use, it was on about 60%. So we did charge the centers while we had some lunch. They were fully charged again within half an hour, I reckon, and we used them all afternoon for another 6 hours, and again they're down to 60%. So in theory we could have used them all day without a charge. Now the Rhino spine clip up here, I switched from the cradle to this spine clip a little while back. I'm happy to report that this spine clip is great. It's worked perfectly, it never comes loose, never looks like falling off, so I'll keep using that for now. I also ran 2 GPSs on this ride, the Montana zoomed out and the Rhino zoomed in, and it's a great setup to have both views just instantly available. No zooming, no fiddling, just there. Tyres, I ran the Dunlop D606 in the rear, Pirelli Scorpion Rally on the front. My brother had the Metzler 360 on the rear, about 19 psi, no problem. Sprockets, I ran 1550 on my bike, my brother ran 1450. Fuel range, never an issue. We had a maximum leg of 270 kilometres, including the off-road bit in this ride, and for that both bikes used 13 litres or just under, so it's about 21 kilometres per litre. Absolutely no issues to report with either bike. Nothing broke, nothing came loose, they were just solid workhorses all day. I've ridden a couple of the same tracks a few years ago on my DR650, and I remember being just over it. The tracks were rough, it was just hard work. Well, the tracks are exactly the same, but when you're on a bike that's about probably 60 or 70 kilos lighter and suspension that is light years ahead of the DR, well, it was just a joy. We both had an absolute ball on this ride. So I'm probably sounding like a broken record, but the KTM 500 really is a great adventure bike. Yes, you need to sort out the seat, you need to get a bit of fuel range, but I reckon that's about all it needs. The rest of the bike just works. Good job, KTM. Now let's roll this highlight reel and get a taste of what's to come. If you want to see the full ride, then the best way is to subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon, and you'll know as soon as it's released. Thanks for watching, ride safe, I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.